expert on this.
But first, an herbalist who touted natural cures that helped him overcome cancer has been criminally charged in the death of a 13-year-old diabetic boy who prosecutors said he treated with herbal oils instead of insulin.
First of all, what the hell were the parents thinking?
No kidding.
Come on.
The herbalist, who's 83 years old, he's named Timothy Morrow. He was charged with practicing medicine without a license and child abuse causing a death. The boy, identified in court papers as Edgar L., died the next day. The medical examiner determined the boy would have survived if he received proper medical care. Joining us to talk about this is legal analyst and litigator who you can follow on Twitter at Debra Opri. Debra Opri. Debra, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi. Three things jumped out at me when I heard about this story. Hi, Jillian.
Hi, Debra.
All I can tell you is he's an herbalist and an iridologist. These are both alternative medicine titles. Iridology is to study the iris, to see some medical history, not for diagnosis. And an herbalist, as we all know, uses herbs. The thing that jumped out at me is, one, what was the mother's responsibility if the child had already received a diagnosis of diabetes and a medical recommendation to have insulin? That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, why only a misdemeanor charge and not a felony? Because this is pretty serious. This is out to the public. The third thing is there, for want of any other strength of a case, just a message that the city attorney is going to send out? My concern is, in today's world, people are looking for quick answers. And when you have a salesman, and make no mistake, this man knew how to sell, this herbalist. You have salesmen out there. Are we returning to the days of the snake oil sales? And that's what concerns me. So those are the three things that jumped out at me.
There has to be some sort of legal precedence about what to do with Christian Scientists or other religious people who don't believe in modern medicine, maybe the Amish, I guess, where their kids could have their lives saved if they had modern medical treatment, but they opt out for religious reasons.
Yeah, that to me is child abuse, because a child doesn't have a choice. You as an adult have a choice to,
I agree,
fall under the umbrella of religion, but the child doesn't. So that to me is really, I would do anything for my kids. And I know that the great God above, that, invisible force, that, if you believe in God, that's wonderful. But kids die in car accidents every day. Where's God there? It just doesn't, it makes no sense to me.
It's a really good point, because if we are to look at it from the angle of what does the system do with people who don't give proper treatment to minors, who are we looking at? Are we looking at this herbalist that the mother or family took the child to? When a child is dying because the parents refuse to treat it with acceptable medical practices, are the parents to be charged? And has the DCFS been brought into this as concerns the parents?
Well, let me say, did this happen here in California?
LA County.
Oh, well, forget the child services. They're a joke. I'm sorry. They're an absolute joke.
Well, I do family law. They have a very rough thing to do because they are overworked, underpaid, and their files are burdensome. They have more work than they can handle. So that's from my handle on the DCFS. And look, we've had our experiences with the DCFS as a family law practitioner, but I'm looking at the Torrance city attorney because I've had cases down there. And all I can say is I am wondering what, if anything, is the recommendation for the Department of Child Family Services as concerns parents. That's just been blistering. That's a blistering issue with me in terms of is this doctor the first step or the only step with the city attorney? Well, I'm concerned about it.
Deborah, we always appreciate your perspective. Thanks so much for stopping by. And if you're not following Deborah on Twitter, you should. You can follow her there at Debra Opri and get her online at debraopri.com.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
Deborah.
so much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.